Rob?
Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe, and today we're taking a look at a Talon. Oh, did I just say that? Can't you hear that nursery rhyme? Listen.
Beware the court of owls that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadow perch, behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send the Talon for your head.
Okay. That was really creepy and really kind of eerie and scary. So, this is the third figure I have picked up from the Greg Capullo action figure line from DC Comics, the Designer Series. I've seen quite a few people review this guy already. I still have one more figure, that's the Riddler to get. I'll probably pick him up next week or the week after. I ordered all four at my local comic book shop, and they're nice enough for me to be able to pick up one or two, every week or so. And they know I'm good for it, so I've had a couple little issues here and there with some of the figures. Batman was the one figure that I had a little issue with that I really didn't do anything about, so I just kind of left him as that. Nightwing, as you know, I kind of suffered a little bit of a mishap with my Nightwing, but everything's right as rain, so let's get the Talon out of his box here. The same package that we've already seen, as my phone is going off here. Some other Rogue Show co-host that you're kind of hearing right there. But the other figures in this wave, of course, are Batman and Nightwing, which I both have, and now, of course, the Talon and the Riddler would be the last figure from wave number 1. So I don't think I read it in my Nightwing review, although I actually found the video footage. I had recorded the box part earlier, but I will just read this just for the sake of reading it again in case I don't put that little piece up for Nightwing. It says, an all-new line of highly detailed action figures based on the artwork of Greg Capullo from the world of Batman. Each figure includes multiple points of articulation and character-specific accessories. And of course, this is celebrating Batman's 75th anniversary, or his birthday. Batman, for 75 years old, you don't look a day over like 31. And these are all sculpted, at least in this first wave, by Jonathan Matthews. And I really love his sculpting work. We can see, Talon here on the side. This is a Talon assassin. I will let you know who this is if you don't know who this actually is already. But we see him in his package here, and he's got the kind of mustard yellow look, and there is the artwork of Greg Capullo right there. So, depicting this is the very first Talon we run into in the New 52 in the Court of Owls storyline that Snyder and Capullo did. So let's get him out of package, and let's take a better look at the Talon. All right, we have Talon out of the package, and this is the Talon assassin, or actually, technically, this is William Cobb, and this would be Dick Grayson's, I believe, 3 great, maybe even 4 great grandfathers who's turned into a Talon assassin. It's a nice little twist in the Court of the Owls where you find out that Dick Grayson was actually supposed to be, drafted into becoming a Talon assassin. So it's kind of cool. About midway through, after this town is actually going after both Batman himself. This is the town that's dispatched to fight Batman, and then later on he turns his focus after we kind of get the reveal that this is Dick Grayson's great whatever grandfather this is. That this Talon turns his focus then onto Nightwing. So after we have the Court of the Owls kind of turns into like City of the Owls type thing. In the Nightwing story, this Talon and Nightwing both have a little kind of scuffle back and forth. And then the current Forever Evil storyline, or the one that just wrapped up, this is the Talon that is featured working kind of alongside of Bane. So there's a little bit of history for you. And I gotta say, this Talon is actually really pretty good. I don't see any QC problems. Sorry to dismay anybody that's waiting for me to complain or cry about it. But he's actually really pretty good. My ankles are nice and stiff. This is the only one that's a tad loose. I mean, it's not horrible. Can shake the figure. He stands just fine. So I don't think it's actually in the ankle pivot that is loose. I think it's just above the gauntlet here, or the part of the boot that is actually the, I wouldn't say loose. It's not loose like he's going to fall down or topple or anything like that. He's actually really pretty good. At this point, I don't know if it's QC problem. Although from what I told, they shouldn't do this, but like ODC's legs, mine both move together. Now, what makes this different than the Nightwing I had is this Talon's legs, his crotch is actually, if we can get him on film here, is actually glued together. So they're both still held in place, unlike the Nightwing was, where the crotch was separating every time I moved it, which caused the figure to fall and topple, which is why I ended up getting the replacement figure, because it was in fact broken. Sorry, I kind of vented there for a second. I'm not keeping something that's broken. So this is not broken. This is just how this is now. Both legs can move independently of each other if I choose to, but there again, they both do move together. Since we're dropping knives here, since he has a plethora, would you say I have a plethora? Yes, El Guapo, you have a plethora. I would hate to think, Hefe, somebody tells me I have a plethora and they have no idea what the word plethora means. Sorry, I went 3 amigos on you right there. So we'll get into articulation here. Now, his head articulation is really good. He can look left and right, up and down. Okay, no, he actually can't, which is fine. I did read somebody kind of complaining about this. Talon's head doesn't actually move. That sucks. It would totally break up the sculpt here, and it wouldn't look accurate at all to the comics. So that's cool. If you want to turn his head, he has a nice waist turn here. And I am dropping knives all over the place. We're just going to keep this one off here. We're kind of jumping down here. So there's no head articulation whatsoever, but the head sculpt is just so cool. And again, this is the very first Talon that Scott Snyder introduces us to in the New 52, and I love this particular Talon. And it's kind of cool that he's a descendant of Dick Grayson, which I kind of think makes the story even cooler as it gets farther along there. A little bit of fuzz on him. So the arms are nice, and I wouldn't say tight. They're standard. They're normal. They flow freely, flow free. So they do go in a full 360. Turns at the bicep here, and that's nice and fluid. Single bend at the elbow. He has a turn at the gauntlet, the owlglant, the owl gauntlet, and he turns at the wrist and has the pivot in the wrist, which he can't get too far back this way due to the gauntlet. This wrist is a little loose, not horrible. And the same with this one too. You can kind of see the extra set of knives that are in here. Now these knives don't come out at all. Now I'll have to find it when I bring up the comic book. Right here at the knuckle dusters, as I was flipping through, if I can find it, these are actually kind of like Wolverine. I completely forgot, like Wolverine fangs that end up coming out. So if I'm flipping through the book, here is the very first image of William Cobb, or this particular Talon that we see in the New 52, which I thought was just very cool the first time we saw him. If I can find it here, there it is. There's the shot. Those little knuckle dusters I showed you, they actually have like owl claws that come out, so kind of like a Wolverine type claw, not a call. A claw. Ooh, it's the claw. Ooh, if you get that movie reference, you're really good. So that would have been a really neat accessory if they would have maybe included that too. You kind of snap onto the wrist to kind of recreate that. Although I think it's the only time in the book that we actually see him use that. But again, it still is really pretty cool. So there's your art image right there. Just setting down the book here. Picking back up, get back to the articulation. He does have a nice ab crunch. Can't look back very much more than that, but can kind of get hunched over a little bit there. A nice fluid turn at the waist. It has been the best of the series so far. Batman's was decent. Nightwing's is still a little stiff, but it's like they have a little bit of like grease or oil in here, so no real effort to try and turn him, but at the same time, it's not flopping around. So that's great. As you saw, both legs can move together or move separately. So again, I'm cool with that. Nothing. So if they do move together, he's not going to topple over either direction. He has an upper thigh turn. Now this is the one that was a little stiff, but I think I was able to break that free. Double jointed knees. Very cool. So far, Batman, Nightwing, and now Talon all have double joints in their knees, which is really kind of cool. There is a swivel at the top of the boot, a swivel, get him in frame, Rob, a swivel at the foot, and a bend at the foot. So the swivel is a little loose, not horrible. I'm not going to take any points away. He does come with quite a few accessories. Let's see, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accessories. So far, that is the most for any DC collectible. These knives do come out. Now, Anthony said he wasn't going to he took one off. It was kind of a pain to put it back in. So we're going to see on film. There's the little knife. And boy, you could really lose these. I'm not going to even attempt with the color of the carpet I have here, even though it's a darker color. It's almost like a shag. I could see me losing it. But if he is going to hold it, it's going to probably be in this hand. Just the way that is, I would imagine you have to put it in, sideways to get it to kind of fit. Does come with 2 knives. Now that's a knife. So he holds these pretty well. Kind of doing what Anthony did there, and in his he had one sideways, so it's coming at you both directions here. Now he has one holster for the knife. So let's do this. Maybe I have to do it this way. Get him in frame, Rob. So there we go. Now it would have been kind of cool to have maybe the other knife. So Anthony was kind of wondering, well, why only one knife or one, holster for the knife? My rationale would be if you take out the sword, he could have a sword in one hand, a knife in the other hand. So maybe that was in the design. But in looking at the comic book, he only has the one sheath. Now, for some reason, if you're like, I don't want him to hold any knife, okay, now you have a problem. It would have been kind of cool if there was a hole here where the knife could go into the gauntlet. That would have been a sweet little touch. But I guess you could just put the knife down. So he does have these 2 swords. I do think they're a little small, but again, in the comic, they are kind of small. So get him in the right way. You can see how it is designed on the back here. If I can even put it in. I'm trying to watch on the viewfinder, and I'm not watching where my hand's coming in at. So, and he holds this one. This hand is probably the tightest hand to really hold the accessories in. Get him out there. And make sure you get in the right way. So there you go. I really, really like this guy. It'd be cool to kind of army build. I said he had 10 accessories. I was wrong. He has 11. The Mask of the Court. Now, I got Nightwing here. I think this mask is actually designed for somebody with this type of head. You can't really do it on Nightwing because I can't get up. If I had him off frame here, you can't get up underneath the underneath his head as I had him off there. But I've seen people kind of use this like a custom Bruce Wayne. Actually, this was the Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight Returns. Or The Dark Knight. I don't even know my movies. So you could kind of do this. It's a little bit big. From far enough back, is like the eyes don't quite line up. It's almost, too big. But I have seen people use it in some ACBA type shots. You could make it work. You had him here off to the side. Not really going to notice. So there you go. So what we're going to do, let's bring up Batman here. And they look great together. We'll throw in a Nightwing here for a good measure. And Nightwing knocks his grandfather down. Great-great-great-great-grandfather. Knife's a little on the bendy side. So I think this is a really strong, solid line. It is nice that this is the first figure that I have not had any QC problems with. So that's been refreshing. Now, granted, I could say the same thing for this Nightwing, as he was, my replacement, as it were. So those are just some things to, kind of pay attention to when you're looking at your figures and stuff. I guess it's one of those, if it bothers you, that's why they put contact information. You could take it as high or as low, or you can call the customer service center and really get nowhere. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But this is a solid figure. I'd like to pick up maybe another one or two to kind of have, a couple extra Talons around. I would like to say that I'm going to, but I probably won't. One Talon will work just fine for the setup that I want to do here. So let's move the other guys off to the side here. And today we've been taking a look at Talon, as it's listed on the package, or the Talon Assassin, but actually, technically, it's William Cobb. I think it's 3 greats to Dick Grayson Nightwing right here. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe, signing off saying we will see you guys next time.